Hello, my name is Chester Kulas. I'm a member of Centenary United Methodist Church in Berlin, and I have been going to church recently because I'm on hospice, and it's a shame when you can't go to church and worship the Lord in His church, in His home. I shouldn't say church, in His home. And I'd like to say to all the members at our church, I miss them all, and I miss one person especially, and that is my football player and baseball player. I don't have to mention any names there, but everybody knows who she is, and I love everybody in the church. I always will, and I thank everybody for sending all the cards to me. I appreciate them. It makes me feel great. It's just a wonderful world that people can think about you and say nice things about you. I just love you all, and I love the Lord, and just keep on praying for me. Thank you.
Yeah, and can you share how you became Christian?
Oh, yes, I became a Christian years ago. I was in a service in 1953 over in Korea when the Korean War stopped. And from there I came back to the United States. I never drank then until I came back to the States, and I met this girl in Buffalo, New York, and I fell in love with her, but she liked to drink. And she was drinking 3 years before me, and I never had a drink before that. So, and she would stay up to 3 o'clock every morning, going out partying and drinking. And that's what I did with her. Go out partying, drinking just like her, and have a good time. And then finally we got married and all that there, and as it went on, things got worse and worse with the drinking problem and things like that, and it's just unbearable. So then we finally had to get a divorce. I couldn't take it any longer, she couldn't take it longer. We couldn't live any longer together. So I ended up in Skid Row, Philadelphia. And I was in Skid Row, Philadelphia for 2 years. And boy, that's a terrible place to stay. Terrible, terrible. In fact, when I was there was 5 flop houses. I don't know if you know anything about a flop house. It's a place where all drunks stay overnight for 50 cents. You get a bed for 50 cents, you stay there overnight. And during the day, what you take and do is panhandle the streets for money, get enough money to buy your wine, so you can have enough wine all day long and have enough wine all night long. So when you get up in the morning, you do the same thing. You go on panhandle and get that drink. Without that drink, you could not survive. So that was my lifestyle down there, and then let me think here for a second here. Down here, that down here. I'm trying to think. I got lost here for a minute. I'm sorry. You just have to wait. What I did something right after that. Oh yes, I was in this room in a flop house where you stayed for 50 cents overnight. And in this room, I was laying there, and it was nighttime, and I had my bottle of wine next to me on the right-hand side, and I was laying there and thinking. I weighed about 92 pounds. And I said, what am I doing here? I weigh 92 pounds. When all the people in this here room, when they get like me here the way I am now, they all die. So then as soon as I said that, they all die and this and that, then the Lord came to me. It was a hot flash. It started at the top of my head, and it came all the way through my body and all through my socks and shoes on the bottom. But He only took away the obsession. And what I mean by the obsession is I could drink, I could eat, and do all them things which I could never do before he came to me, before he came to my body and took over on my body. So that's when I started getting better, because I started going to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and learn how to stop the drink, the other part about drinking and this and that. And I was drinking one day, and I went to the doctor. The doctor was talking to the nurse there, not the nurse, but she worked there. She was a secretary, and she was talking to me and this and that, and about I was working on cars, and I did cars, and her husband was a minister. And I said, oh, yeah. And she says, oh, he loves to work on cars when he's not doing anything. So she sent him over to me, and he came over to me. He worked a few days here and there, and all of a sudden I started going to his church every Sunday. And then that's when my drinking totally stopped, when I started going to church. And it was just a wonderful feeling to see all these people in there, not drinking and all being happy and talking and things like that. And after I'd been there a while, they got me to be the lay speaker for that church. I became lay speaker for that church, and I was lay speaker for 3-4 years. And I enjoyed that, because every Sunday morning I have to get up, go to church and get the sermon ready for the preacher, because the preacher at that time there, I don't know if they still do it now, they only preach for 20 minutes, a sermon, and they leave. Well, where I was at, we had 3 churches. They call it, the heck did they call it? I forget now. Well, the whole 3 of them together, the preacher had to take care of the whole 3 churches, but they were all in a radius of, 20, 30 miles, where the preacher could get to everyone every Sunday. Like mine was the first one, 9 o'clock. She would get to my church about 9:20, speak for 20 minutes, and get going, and then she'd be at the next church for the 10 o'clock service. That's in Providence, yeah. And after she said her service there, she would go to the other service, which is 11 o'clock. And she did her service there. And that took care of the Sundays. But I was always busy with the people in church, always active. And we always did things together. And it's just a wonderful way to live when you have God. And you must have God to be happy in this world. Because if you don't have God in this world, then you have nothing as far as I'm concerned. And that's it. And I just love everybody, the congregation, and everybody in the world, period. I love yous all, and I thank yous all for everything. Thank you.